Good evening and welcome to Face Off. I'm Olu Philips. During the electioneering campaign, the All Progressives Congress made several promises, including the proposed 5,000 Naira social security stipend to be paid monthly to unemployed youth in Nigeria. A lot of people have been very skeptical about the livelihood of this promise or how this can come to fruition. Many believe the government should not create a culture of dependence but build on youth development programs like the Shopee we had before and UWIN created by the previous administration. Tonight, Nigerians are also thinking and saying, is it possible that we're working on a tight budget, given some pronouncements in the recent past by the president sometime in India? And recently, there was a rowdy session in the Senate where the motion over plans to pay the stipend was raised by Senator Philips Aduda of the People's Democratic Party. Senators responded along party lines. The ruling APC government has made promises to pay this special intervention fund over a phased period, and this was like a response to that, all of those agitations in the National Assembly. We're going to be asking a few questions tonight. I have two guests, but I'll introduce them shortly. Some of the questions we'll be asking is this promise realistic? How can the government determine who actually is eligible to be called unemployed and who gets this benefit? Does the government have a record of, or should I say the database of all employed citizens? Is this just one of those campaign promises? We will take a short break. When we return, I'll be introducing my guests who will be discussing the topic of 5,000 stipend, how realistic. This is Face Off. Join us shortly. Welcome back. Face Off is the program, and the topic we're looking at today is the proposed social security fund for unemployed Nigerians or citizens for 5,000 Naira. I have two guests in the house. I have Comrade Ifekayode Akimbode, very correctly, to my right. And I have Comrade Murphy Abadoni.
It's a pleasure.
Gentlemen, I would like for you to tell me what you have in support or any agitation as far as this topic is concerned. I'll start with you, Mr. Ife.
Let me first say that to me as an individual, I do not believe that the promise is realistic. Rather, I will see it as a deliberate attempt by the party to hoodwink the innocent young Nigerians who, because of the economic, realities, wanted, a way out of the terrible situation that we find ourselves in Nigeria.
Nice one.
I will say that the promise is very much realistic, and the government is working on that, and I strongly believe that they are going to keep to that promise.
That's the word, may keep to that promise. Murphy just said, may keep. That does not sound assuring at all.
I didn't say may. I said they will keep to that promise. They will.
But I think
they keep reminding us that they are working on it, and they're going to.
I'm going to take my own discussion from the intro you gave. How realistic is this promise? 25 million most vulnerable Nigerians. How do we define most vulnerable Nigerians? How do we get to understand the most jobless Nigerian across the length and breadth of this country?
Are you saying government lacks the competence to
we do not have the database to determine, the unemployed. Not even in Lagos State, even in Ogun State, in the remotest part of Maiduguri. How do we determine it?
You have an answer to that?
Yes, because you see, when you vote in people to represent you, whether at local government, state, and federal level, it's expected that they have been voted to go and work. So merely saying that the government do not have the true statistics of those who are employed and those who are not employed is not enough. Why are they there? It is their duty to go to work. Get the statistics. Get the statistics.
We are 6 months down. Murphy, this government is 6 months down running. The ministers were inaugurated today.
Good.
And we have another 3-4 months, they will have to study the ministry they have been assigned to. We know the Nigerian situation. Let me use an example. We have somebody who is a lawyer all of his life, appointed to the power housing and work ministry. He won't need time to understudy those ministry. He won't need time to understudy the challenge of those ministry. He won't need time to understudy the policy framework of this administration before he can hit the ground running.
Government wants to pay 5,000 naira. What's your problem?
My problem is that they want to pay, but they don't have the capacity to
say
pay.
They will pay 5,000.
Holy Philips, how would they pay it? In Ogun State.
I think you should be asking Murphy.
Murphy, as young men that we are,
yes.
What will 5,000 do in the life of an average person in Nigeria with the economic reality? At every given opportunity, President Muhammadu Buhari has said that he cannot afford to pay 42 ministers. What is the salary or take home of a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Multiplied by 42. And then what is the total figure of 5,000 multiplied by 25 million in a month equal to 12 months and in 4 years of the administration? How do we get the money from this?
Good.
Simple calculation.
You just made mention of him not being able to pay 42 ministers.
He said that. He said that.
Yes. But the point is that the man is trying to cut costs. In economics, we talk about scale of preference. These ministers, discovered that some of these ministries can even be merged. Like we were discussing off air, I said...
5,000 is what we're talking about.
I'm coming, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there. We have these youths out there. Like you just said that, what can 5,000 naira do to an average youth? It can do a lot.
Okay.
It can do a lot. I've been on the street of Lagos. I've been on the street of every other Nigerian state. There are so many jobless graduates out there who do not even have money to make a photocopy of their CV. Talk less of taking the CV to go drop somewhere.
Murphy.
So 5,000 naira will go a long way. Look
I think
at
we should not deviate from this point of discourse. How will
you asked I'm trying to answer your question.
Be able to pay this money?
That was your second question. I was going to get there.
He has said severally that Nigeria is broke.
Maybe he's trying to...
You know, he asked me two different questions.
Please
I was trying to answer the first, and I believe I've done so.
Okay.
Then the second one, he said, how will he be able to do that? How will he not be able to do that when recently the man has recovered over 1.4 trillion naira stolen funds? When the same man you just mentioned that is trying to cut costs, meaning that the man is trying to cut off those unnecessary expenditures. So why will he not be able to pay that?
Murphy.
Well, in the past, we had something like the You Win program, the Shopee program, where they're not being sponsored by you and I's money.
Murphy, don't forget that this 1.4 trillion is not even enough to run the economy.
Yeah.
Even the budget, the Ministry of Defense.
Government is a continuum. If at 5 months into governance, they've been able to recover 1.4 trillion.
Don't you also know that on the part of the government of Muhammadu Buhari, they have lied to the young people of Nigeria. They resumed this government May 29. They were voted March 28.
Good.
Today, I think it's November 11 or thereabout. Today, 6 months down the line, any responsible government, any forward-looking government, immediately you were inaugurated. The first
I should think I mean, we need to guide our statements. I should think that the government, or I believe the government is responsible. But
I'm not saying, I said, it's just a statement of assumption.
Well, if you say it's not about... You're not ascribing it to...
No. Fantastic. We should know that at every point we make promises, we should be ready to implement those promises. Biblically, it is not right. A lot of Nigerians, young Nigerians, voted not because they believed in the party, but because of the promises that were made during the campaigns. And so most of them will think, oh, by the end of June, I should be receiving my 5,000. And this is November. We do not even know the agency of government that would be responsible.
He has a question.
Which agency of government will be responsible? Is it the presidency? Is it the Federal Ministry of
Transport? That can be created any time.
When will they be created? When will it start the implementation?
When the government made that promise, was there a time duration? Did they say it must be done before so and so time? I believe they never said that. And the point, I'm coming, excuse me. The point is that this was a government or a party that made series of promises. The 5,000 stipends to vulnerable youth is not just the only promise made. There were a series of promises, and they have to start. Do not forget that this is a government that has not had budget. I'm talking as a Nigerian, I'm not talking as somebody in government. I'm talking as a Nigerian, that I know that I have to use my common sense to know that the government has to have the money to be able to implement that.
That should also have you know, Murphy,
It won't be enough for me to just begin to say, why have they failed me? They have not failed. And why do you defend failure?
Murphy,
if I promise I'm going to give you this at the end of this time and at the end of that, I don't give it. Murphy, that is failure. Murphy. But if a government that is talking to you on a daily basis and they are saying they have not forgotten their promise, they are going to keep to that.
Without any specific
So we shouldn't be in a hurry. And one other thing I have to say here, this is a government that was coming from the ab initio and they said they were coming with a change. In the past, for instance, if you permit me, in the past we used to have governments who come in the same day and they almost swear ministers immediately.
Murphy, I think
that didn't help us.
Murphy,
that didn't help us. No, we are not losing. I'm trying to buttress my point.
Question.
Did you
listen to me? You said that's one of the tragedy of the volatile class in Nigeria.
Okay.
People make promises without recourse to the economic realities. Those who formulated the campaign promises of the present government should have been mindful that this budget that government is running was not their own budget. And then they should have been very clear and thorough during the campaign. That
was why they never said it was to be done between this time frame.
Murphy, please.
Okay.
Murphy is concerned about the fact that there is no time frame to this, and so it could happen anytime.
But it's not right.
Doesn't mean it's not going to happen.
Olu, I cannot come to you
and tell you that is a question we should have asked them for the point of campaign.
Olu, you work in Channels Television. They cannot tell you that, Olu, we are employing you in Channels Television, but we do not know when your salaries will be paid. Just keep working. We don't know what, would you continue to work?
That is a different ball game. When you are employed,
it's a promise.
No, it's not a promise. No, when you are employed, it becomes obligatory.
The contract is obligatory. It's obligatory. It's a contract.
I'll come back to gentlemen. I mean, it's getting interesting here. I mean, it's a very solemn discussion, but the points have been made. I'll take a short break. When we return, we'll continue on this 5,000 stipend social welfare package for Nigeria. Is it a new beginning? Is this realistic? Join us again.